Welcome to the Dan Sports Tips NFL preview show. We are going to be looking at week 5 of the NFL season, and we're going to take a look at the college football for this weekend. I'm recording this on Friday the 7th. Obviously, we had a shocking week in the NFL last week. We actually swept to the board with losers. There aren't a lot of plays I like this week in the NFL, so I'm going to dive straight in. We're now down 38 points on the year, so we aren't going to be clawing ourselves back into profit this week. I'm going to start with Tennessee and Miami. The total for this game set at 43.5. The short of this is we've got a pair of low-scoring teams that run the football fairly efficiently. Neither of them do have a propensity to throw deep, although Mariota probably could if they take the handcuffs off of him for Tennessee. They certainly don't do so regularly. With the potential weather conditions and the tail end of the hurricane in Florida as well, everything points to a low-scoring game. I do think 43.5 is probably high. I'm not sure either team will get to 20 points in the game, so I will play Tennessee at Miami under 43.5 total points. The other game I like is the San Diego Chargers visiting the Oakland Raiders. I'm a little bit surprised at how low the line is. The Chargers are only getting a 3.5 point head start, but ultimately this game does profile as a shootout. San Diego do have the ability to score points against one of the weaker pass defences to this point in the season in the NFL. Oakland have travelled coast to coast and played in the early time zone on the East Coast in 3 out of their 4 games so far. That's got to take its toll at some point. They lost their only other home game to an offence that actually is fairly similar to the Chargers in the Atlanta Falcons. This is the game that we're going to actually find out about the Raiders. Can they win at home when they're expected to win, rather than going as an underdog on the road with nothing to lose? San Diego have been competitive in every game despite their 1-3 record. They're not a team that gets blown out. At some point, they're going to stop hideously blowing these double-digit fourth-quarter leads. I wouldn't be shocked if the Chargers go into Oakland and pull the outright upset this week. But getting 3.5, we've got field goal coverage as well. I'll take the points with the San Diego Chargers in this game. We had a very good week in college last week. Actually gets us back to not far off a level, largely because we hit on the weekly ACCA for a massive profit of I think 2 points returned 98 points. So we're going to finish the season up on the accumulators. It's just a case of getting the regular selections in for the rest of it. For anyone who hasn't watched the show before, I compile ratings that basically give me point system betting, and generally bets are between 1 and 7 points. Obviously, the more points, the stronger the selection. I'm just going to run through them quickly and give you the plays for this week. I'm going to put 2 points on New Mexico plus 17.5 to beat Boise State. I believe that game is tonight, Friday, as I'm recording this. New Mexico have made a habit of covering against Boise State in recent years, and I see no reason why that's going to stop this week. Notre Dame against NC State. This is probably the time where it will, the season's over now for Notre Dame. They haven't really got anything to lose now. The pressure's off. I'm going to play them +3 against NC State. I trust Brian Kelly to get the job done here, so I'm going to have 5 points Notre Dame +3 to beat North Carolina State, to beat the Wolfpack. I'm going to take the same stakes on under 64.5 total points in that game. Houston against Navy. I was going to play Houston, but I just think the line's just a shade too high. But I do fancy there to be points in the game. So Houston against Navy, 3 points on over 50.5 points in that game. North Carolina against Virginia Tech, the line's dropping. It's down to 1.5 now. The question is whether or not North Carolina can get themselves back up after a couple of emotionally charged, shall we say, wins in the last, sort of winning at the death in close ones in dramatic style in the last couple of weeks. I think they probably can. So I'm going to stick 3 points on North Carolina -1.5 to beat Virginia Tech this week. Ball State against Central Michigan. 12.5 points is the start at Ball State again. I will throw a point on that. I fancy the over more though, so 2 points on over 57.5 total points in Ball State, Central Michigan. I'm not sure that Central are going to be able to bounce back after the shellacking at the hands of Western Michigan last week. Texas A&M against Tennessee. Wanted to put A&M up as a selection, but Tennessee are just so lucky, aren't they? It's about as fraudulent a 5-0 as I think I can remember seeing. That being said, I don't fancy points in this game. I think 57.5 is too high. So 5 points on the under 57.5 in the Texas A&M Tennessee game down in College Station. USC, much like Notre Dame, it looks finished-ish for them this season. They get Colorado. Colorado's quarterback is doubtful, I think, for the game as well. I'm going to play USC minus 4.5 to beat Colorado this week, and I'm going to put 4 points on under 63.5 total points in the game. Hawaii and San Jose State are two horrific defenses, and actually the offenses match up quite well with the weaknesses in the opposing defence. The line has dropped to 63.5 points. It was 66 earlier in the week. I'm happy to play that over. I'll stick a couple of points on over 63.5 in that. Speaking of Western Michigan, after their as they continue on their roll, they've got Northern Illinois up this week. I'm going to play Western Michigan. 20 is a big line. I wouldn't play it at 21, but 3 points on Western Michigan minus 20 to beat Northern Illinois this week. Arkansas against Alabama. This line has jumped from where it was pre-season. I can see no reason really why. 14 is an awful lot for Alabama to give on the road in conference play. I'm perfectly happy to play 5 points on Arkansas plus 14 to beat the Crimson Tide this week. Rutgers plus 29.5 to beat Michigan. That's also a lot of points. I'm not sure that I would play this 28 or higher. So 3 points on Rutgers plus 29.5 to beat Michigan, I think is a solid play. Washington, after their destruction of Stanford last week, they now get Oregon, who are still slightly overrated by books. They're not the team of recent years. I'm happy to stick 3 points on Washington minus 9 to beat the Ducks this week, and I'll play 4 points on under 69 total points in that game as well. Florida State, another one whose season hasn't quite gone to plan. They're playing the Miami Hurricanes this week. I'm going to play them as an underdog this week. Florida State are getting a field goal. I'll put 5 points on Florida State plus 3 on the handicap. 3 points on Florida State on the money line to beat Miami straight up. And I'm also going to play under 64 total points in that game for 5 points as well. Not as many plays as last week, which is probably a good thing, let's be honest. The accumulator this week, Washington minus 9, Notre Dame plus 3, Hawaii and San Jose State over 63.5, and Texas A&M minus 7 against Tennessee. That pays odds of 13, just over 12 to 1, 13.04. So we'll hope that ACCA hits and we continue to go 2 for 2 on the ACCAs. Let me know what you think is going to happen in both the college game and the NFL this week. Let me know what games you're playing. I'm here every week throughout the college football and the NFL season. Please do subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like the video. Give me a follow on Twitter at dansports.tips, and I'll see you later.